You've seen him before. He walks in, no spotlight, no grand entrance. He doesn't wave his arms or shout to be heard. He just arrives. And yet, the room tilts toward him. Heads turn, conversations pause, and without saying a word, he captures the atmosphere like he's rearranging the air itself. He might not be rich. He might not even be that accomplished. But in that moment, he is the center of gravity. You watch him and think, how? What is it about this guy? Why do people treat him like he matters when he hasn't even said a word? The answer is as uncomfortable as it is empowering. It's not about talent. It's not even about experience or credentials. It's about belief. He walks like no one is better than him, not with arrogance, but with certainty. And guess what? The world mirrors that certainty. While you've been taught to wait for recognition, to earn your voice, to let your achievement speak louder than your presence, he never subscribed to that. He realized long ago that the world doesn't respond to your worth. It responds to your signal. And your signal starts broadcasting the second you walk into a room. Look around. Really look. The loudest voices aren't always the smartest, the ones who get promoted fastest. Not always the most hardworking. But they have one thing in common. They know how to show up. They enter spaces as if they belong there, like the seat at the table was made for them. They don't wait to be invited. They don't need a permission slip. And that subtle act of assuming value, that's what makes the world fall into formation around them. You keep thinking life is fair, that merit wins. It doesn't. Certainty wins. Now, before you roll your eyes and call this performance, consider this. All of life is performance. Every interaction is theater. The only difference is some people know they're on stage and use it to their advantage. When an actor takes the spotlight, they're not being fake, they're stepping fully into a role. That's what presence is. That's what confidence is. It's not a reward you get after success, it's the armor you wear before battle. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Power doesn't come from feeling ready. It comes from acting like you are. Think back, how many times have you stayed silent because you didn't feel qualified? How often did you watch someone with half your insight take control of a room simply because they acted like they belonged? You didn't lose because you weren't good enough. You lost because your presence whispered, "I'm not sure." And the room heard it loud and clear. This isn't about faking it. This is about training your body to believe what your mind still doubts. It's about becoming. And the moment you start showing up as that man, not the one you are now, but the one you're becoming, that's the moment everything begins to shift. Every room you walk into is scanning you. It's not waiting to hear you speak. It's already listening to your body, your walk, your silence. People are watching for the clues. Does this person think they belong? Should we treat them like they matter? And without even realizing it, you answer them before you say a single word. If you walk in with hesitation, they sense it. If your shoulders are slouched, your eyes darting, your presence shrinking, they know. You've already told them you're not sure about yourself. And the truth is, they'll believe about you whatever you believe first. Think of the world like a mirror that doesn't show you who you are. It shows you who you think you are. If you carry yourself like a king, the world responds with reverence. If you shrink like a servant, it hands you scraps. You're not being tested on your talent. You're being tested on your energy. That's why people less talented than you keep winning. They project certainty. They act like they've already won, and the world rushes to agree. Meanwhile, you're over there waiting for proof, for signs, for permission. But no one's handing that to you. You've got to take it. You've been taught to wait for a chance. Wait for someone to call your name. Wait for your turn. That lesson, burn it. Your chance is not given, it's taken. The mic isn't passed, it's grabbed. And not with desperation, but with quiet conviction. When you speak, speak like someone who knows they deserve to be heard. When you walk, walk like the floor is lucky to hold your feet. This isn't ego. This is alignment. It's the difference between playing small and standing tall. The world doesn't need another apologetic genius. It needs a storm in human form, silent, steady, certain. Think about those moments when you did feel powerful. Maybe you were alone. Maybe you were deep in your work. Maybe you weren't even trying. But something clicked. You knew who you were. You weren't performing, you were just being. That's the energy you need to carry into the world, not when you're alone, but when everyone's watching. The irony? Most people are faking confidence because they don't feel it. But if you can tap into even 1% of your real power, authentic, grounded, unapologetic, you will tower over their performances. Because people can tell the difference between a mask and a man who knows himself. This is your call to stop apologizing for your presence. Stop explaining your existence. Stop waiting to be discovered like some hidden gem. You're not a secret, you're a force. And it's time the world felt you. No more whispering your name in rooms that need to hear you roar. No more dimming your light to make others comfortable. If your energy makes people uncomfortable, good. That means they felt it. And that's the point. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to take up space, to shape the room, to own your breath, your words, your path. So stop asking if it's okay to be powerful. Start walking like you already are. Everyone wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness demands. They want the results, the spotlight, the applause, but not the grind in the dark. You see, the real transformation doesn't happen when eyes are on you. It happens when no one's clapping, no one's texting, no one's posting. It happens when it's just you, the silence, and the work. The world doesn't reward ideas, it rewards proof. And the only way to prove you belong is to build the evidence daily, painfully, relentlessly, until your name echoes louder than anyone's permission. You don't rise when the stage appears. You rise before that, when you're rehearsing while others sleep, when you're bleeding into your craft, when no one is watching and you show up anyway. That's where identity is forged. That's where real belief is born. You don't have to scream, "You're great." Your consistency will speak louder than any claim. If you're willing to be the person who outlasts, outworks, and outfocuses, the world will have no choice but to listen. You'll stop chasing validation because your results will demand it. People love to talk about goals. They say, "I want this, I deserve that." But goals without grit are just noise. Everybody wants the crown, few are ready for the weight, because it's heavy. Heavy with discipline, heavy with sacrifice, heavy with every morning you didn't want to get up but did. That's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. You've got to be willing to fall in love with repetition, the boring, the brutal, the invisible hours that no one celebrates. That's the path. And it's not a punishment, it's the privilege of those destined to lead. You'll be tempted to look sideways, to check who's ahead, who's clapping, who's posting highlights. Don't. That's distraction disguised as curiosity. Your only competition is the version of you that's still afraid, the one who hesitates, the one who says, "Maybe tomorrow." Kill that version every day. Prove to yourself, not the world, that you're becoming someone different, someone solid, someone unshakable. When your life becomes a quiet storm of commitment, the world eventually hears the thunder. But the thunder doesn't come first. It's the silence before it that matters most. So, let the others brag. Let them pretend. You're in the shadows building something real. You're laying bricks when they're busy counting likes. And one day, they'll look up and realize you weren't waiting to be discovered. You were becoming undeniable. That's the move. Not louder, not flashier, deeper, more locked in, more intentional. The kind of presence that says, "I don't need you to see me right now," because soon you won't be able to look away. Keep building, keep going, keep proving. This is how legends are mad not in the light, but by mastering the dark. At some point, you have to stop blaming the world. You have to stop pointing fingers at your past, your parents, your boss, your ex, your setbacks. There's a moment when you realize No one is coming to save you. That's when everything changes. When you stop outsourcing your power and start owning everything. The pain, the failure, the missed chances, the fear, all of it. Not because it's fair, but because it's fuel. The world doesn't owe you a single thing, and the moment you accept that, you become unstoppable. Most people spend their lives waiting for permission, for support, for the right moment. You can't afford that. You have to decide. You have to claim the driver's seat and take full control. Every time you blame, you give away a piece of your strength. And every time you take responsibility, you take it back. That doesn't mean everything that happened to you was your fault. But it does mean it's your fight, your life, your future. You either own your story, or you stay trapped in a chapter you didn't write. Ownership is brutal. It means admitting when you've been lazy, when you quit too early, when you didn't show up like you could have. It means having the guts to face your own reflection without excuses. That's rare. That's real. Because the truth is, most people aren't willing to confront themselves. But you're different. You're done lying to yourself. You're done hiding behind almost. And someday, you're stepping up, owning your time, owning your habits, owning your energy. You've decided that your past won't define you. Your discipline will. Look, the world will test you. It'll push you. It'll try to convince you that you're too late, too broken, too far behind. And if you're not anchored in ownership, you'll believe it. But when you've taken full responsibility for your life, no one can take it from you. Not critics, not doubters, not even failure. Because you're no longer reacting, you're creating. You're no longer chasing approval, you're walking in purpose. When you own your power, you stop needing pity. You stop begging for opportunity. You become the opportunity. That's what changes everything. So here's the truth. You are the problem, and you are the solution. You are the weakness and the weapon. You are the storm and the calm. And once you realize that, you stop waiting for motivation. You stop needing perfect conditions. You build no matter what. You show up no matter how it feels. Because you're no longer waiting for life to change. You're changing your life, piece by piece, choice by choice, day by day. And in the end, when they ask how you did it, you'll say one thing. I owned everything. The wins, the losses, the process, the pain, all of it. And that's what made me powerful. You weren't born just to survive. You weren't put here to wake up, go through the motions, and die with your potential still locked inside you. You were born to build something, to create, to leave a mark. Deep down, you've always known that. It's why you felt restless, why comfort doesn't satisfy you. Because you weren't built for comfort, you were built for impact. And once you realize that, the fire inside you stops asking for permission. It starts burning for something bigger. Your vision is not a fantasy. It's not a nice to have. It's a calling. And callings don't go away. They haunt you. They wake you up in the middle of the night. They whisper when you're distracted. They scream when you're silent. That thing you see in your mind, the dream, the legacy, the life you want to build, it's real. But it will never become reality unless you fight for it, unless you build it, brick by brick, rep by rep, choice by choice. You already know what it looks like. Now it's time to become the person who can hold it. This vision is more than just goals and timelines. It's the future version of you pulling you forward. The strongest, most locked-in version of yourself is out there waiting for you to catch up. But you can't reach them by staying small. You won't meet them through hesitation, distraction, or doubt. They're on the other side of relentless execution, of daily discipline, of showing up when it's hard, when it's quiet, when no one's watching. You don't just get the vision, you earn it, you become it. And here's what most people miss. This vision is not just about you, it's bigger than that. It's about the people you'll impact, the family you'll inspire, the lives you'll change. There are people waiting for your courage, people you may never even meet who will benefit from your boldness. That's the weight of purpose. That's the gravity of legacy. When you align with that, you don't just work harder, you work deeper. You realize your habits are holy, your decisions are destiny, and your life, it's a message you're writing with your actions. So build it. Build the vision with everything you've got. Build it when no one believes. Build it when it's lonely. Build it when you're scared. Because every brick you lay is a signal to the world and to yourself that you refuse to waste your life. That you're not here to impress, you're here to fulfill. You're not here to follow, you're here to lead. And when the dust settles and they look back at what you built, they won't just see a person who had a dream. They'll see a force who refused to be ordinary. And that's legacy. There comes a moment when the preparation ends, when the doubt breaks, when the hesitation burns, and all that's left is you unfiltered, unlocked, unleashed. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more wondering if you're good enough, because now you know, you've earned this, you've bled for this, you've stood in the fire and didn't flinch. And when the smoke cleared, you were still there, stronger, sharper, reborn. This is not the beginning. This is the arrival. You don't chase greatness anymore. You embody it. You don't wait for opportunity. You create it. The world no longer intimidates you because you've become the one thing it can't ignore, relentless. While others fold, you rise. While they freeze in fear, you move with purpose. While they talk, you execute. You've become the storm, the force that bends the world to its will. Every rep, every sacrifice, every lonely day has forged you into something unstoppable. You're not the same person you were before, you're the weapon now. There is a presence inside you that can no longer be denied. A clarity that cuts through confusion. A strength that doesn't shout but commands. You walk differently now, not with arrogance, but with certainty. You move with the weight of discipline and the fire of destiny. You know who you are. You know what you want. And you know that nothing and no one can take it from you. You've trained for the moment they doubt you. You've sharpened yourself in silence. And now you stand, undeniable. Look back. All that pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. All the setbacks weren't rejection, they were refinement. The sleepless nights, the inner wars, the heartbreaks, they weren't in vain. They were shaping you, breaking the weak parts, revealing the core. And now that you've arrived, you don't carry regret, you carry power, you carry proof. You carry the story of someone who didn't just survive but rose, who didn't just dream but delivered, who didn't just want it, but became it. So this is where it all comes together. This is the fire meeting the fuel, the vision meeting the vessel, the moment when the world sees what you've always known, that you were never meant to be average, that this life was never meant to be lived halfway, that your name will not be remembered for what you avoided, but for what you faced, what you conquered, what you built. You've crossed the line now. There's no going back, no slowing down. You are the storm. You are the proof. You are the arrival.